Yeah. Well, we'll do it here in just a second. We're live. Hey, we're here from Phone Pros behind Target, Texarkana. We have my good friend Santa Claus with us. Everybody say hi.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas.
I'm sure you know him. We have Dr. Young from Texarkana Emergency Center. Tony Langford with Tony Langford Roofing. Both of them help us put on this event, which is our 4th year. I appreciate everybody coming. Probably my most exciting day of the year. I love seeing your kids grow up. We love being able to give back to our community. And talk about giving back to our community. If you don't know him, Trey Carsons is here with us. Or Carson, he played for 3 teams in the NFL. Injured this year. Played for the Packers. Currently with the Lions right now. Played several seasons for Cincinnati. And he'll be signing autographs for your kids. We'll have him set up right over here. We have a bunch of footballs. But be sure you take pictures with him. You know, this is one of the times a local athlete comes back and gives back to his community. So be sure you shout him out for it. But y'all have a great time here with your family. Stay as long as you'd like. All the vendors have games for the kids. And we'll have Santa in there just a minute. Before we do, tell us about your year. How's it been?
Oh, it's been a wonderful year. All the people in Texarkana have been so festive, getting into the Christmas spirit, and it's going to be a wonderful Christmas.
Great. Dr. Young, how's your month been?
It's been great, and we appreciate everybody coming out, and we're so excited for Christmas and to be able to celebrate having Santa Claus here, and what wonderful community partners to be able to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Having Trey here, one of our local athletes that's been on the NFL, and then just talking about football for Paul Pewitt, and then also, of course, our Pleasant Grove Hawks. Making it into the state playoffs, both of them, is awesome.
They'll play for the state. Paul Pewitt will play Thursday night, I believe, at 7 at AT&T Stadium. The Pleasant Grove Hawks will play at 3 o'clock. Really excited about it. We were at the Pleasant Grove game last night. I mean, it was exciting. I see Logan Johnson standing out here. He had 3 or 4 touchdowns? 3 touchdowns. I think 2 rushing, one catching. Had a huge game.
Great.
Shout out to him. Went big time. We'll have him on here in a little bit. Receiving touchdown, yeah. You know, I can't think fast on my feet anymore. But if you're watching with us on Facebook, we'll be here 2 to 5, Phone Pros behind Target. We'll be kind of live streaming the entire thing, including Santa inside. It's a great day. It's one of my favorite events. And I want to say we appreciate Trey coming out. And Tony and Dr. Young, they help us put this on every year. Let's do this. Let's switch to one of our other cameras, and we'll get Santa going, and we'll come back periodically. Yeah. Let's do this real quick. Let's take a picture real quick.
Wants the cameras.
Trip if you come this way. Don't hurt yourself.
Here, and look right here. It's small boy. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. I told him I wanted a puppy.
So it wasn't even trying to click the second time. Okay. It was just my second. How old? Yep, the line is forming. I got it immediately. I took one. I'm not going to work it.
Layla Grace. And look right here and smile at the monkey. 1, 2, Layla. Oh, that was a beautiful smile. Here, you want to come back to me? There you go. Merry Christmas. They don't fear him.
I know. Okay. I think it's like family. Right. Yeah.
Hey, smile right here.
George. I was about to use that. You all right? Long day?
Shut up.
Is he from here?
From Gilmer, but he's been living like up north. Randomly showed up. It's weird.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Did he come?
He's following your Facebook.
I don't know what he wants.
Yeah. Maybe he just wants to be a part of it. Right?
Maybe so. I think we're ready whenever you are. Thanks for joining us. The 4th annual Community Christmas event here at Phone Pros. We got Craig Jenkins, Dr. Matt Young, and second best roofer in town, Tony Langford. We give him such a hard time about this.
Now,
Yeah.
who's the best roofer in town?
I don't know, but a reliable source didn't even have him on the ballot.
Yeah, it was a very credible.
I got some breaking news in I want to share. with
Breaking
people.
news?
Yeah, I heard that when you moved to Texarkana, you didn't get picked on a basketball team because they thought you were a girl. Morgan. Insider news. I heard that from somebody.
I know you're talking about my mom. First off, my mom is a big-time storyteller.
She gave me some ammo to use.
Well, hey, she ain't the only one with stories, so she better watch herself.
Did she really just tell that story?
Hey, it's not true. I don't know what she's talking about. No idea what she's
That's
talking
what
about.
I heard. I heard she would sit in the garage and she would say, starting for the Longview Lobos,
There may-
Morgan Wayne Smith,
There may
and you
be-
would dribble that basketball and do
may
your
be-
layup.
There's some truth to that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's some truth to that, but not this other story she's telling.
That's
I don't
awesome.
know why everybody's laughing like that's funny. I mean, what's wrong with you guys over there?
Supportive mother.
He's like the guy on the ESPN show they're always talking about. He's just doing dumb stuff. That's what Aaron's doing today.
I'm just unloading some of this material. I'll save some for next week.
Okay. Hey, you're not the only one that can uncover dirt. But anyway, hey, so we're here at Phone Pros behind Target. We were on our 4th annual Community Christmas event. Bring the kids by. We're here till 5. Santa's here till 5, more importantly. And he'll be taking pictures with kids. Pictures are free. Come by. Come see us. Get on your way. But let's talk a little football from last night.
Oh, man, did those PG and then Paul Pewitt looked awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I was watching Paul Pewitt closely online, and I didn't know till today. Evidently, that game ended up on a goal line stop, basically. Maybe you know a little more about it than I
That's
did.
what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the other team fumble. So
On the 1 yard line?
that's what someone told
All
me.
the other team
Someone
could have
said-
done, I think, was tie the ball game. I don't remember the final score, but yeah.
And then y'all visited them and got
Yeah.
them some lunch.
Yeah, we took them lunch down there.
Had a
And
lot of fun down
What do
there.
y'all think about them and their coach?
Oh, I like the coach very much. Very welcoming, easy. Just the old country boy. I
Yeah.
enjoyed visiting.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
and the thing was, I wasn't able to make it, and I'm like, I was telling Morgan, I was like, I want to come, but I can't make it.
We
and then I
actually-
went back and watched the video, and I was like, man, I like their coach.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It actually went a lot smoother with Craig not being there that day.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Craig, occasionally a few of us have to work, right?
Some of us have to pay bills.
we left without having to apologize for anything.
Yeah, we didn't have to do a public apology.
Okay, Tony.
And then, I wasn't there last night, but just we live streamed PG winning that game, and what an awesome game, just to be able to watch that and to be able to see Coach Gibson and all PG Nation around him, Hawk Nation, and then for you guys being there and being professional, it was just awesome.
Being professional. You know what this guy said? He said, not as a broadcaster, but as someone. I'm sitting there like, did you think you're a broadcaster, Craig?
Well, in a way, I am. But I was just saying, just to be there, just as a fan, I mean, it's just great to see. I keep saying it, but to just see guys after that loss to just start working immediately towards this goal and to get there, that's got to be the best feeling in the world.
Guys, when I decided to come on board, I didn't realize how how much you get to know these kids, and being right there on the sidelines and how much you're in the action. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun this season.
Yeah, and I tell you, I mean, there's been great guys, great athletes, and Coach Gibson has brought the best out of them. And his whole staff, has brought the best out of them. And right here, we've got somebody.
Yeah.
This young man right
We
here.
got Brigham Young University commit, Bruce Garrett.
You didn't say his full name. It's big time Bruce Garrett.
All right. We, man, what's going on? You got a hip pointer?
Yes, sir.
We need to have you spend the night at Texas County Emergency Center every night this week.
We can fix him up, by golly.
Yes, sir. I'm getting a lot of treatment right now, actually. The mistake I made was not getting a lot of treatment this past week and trying to tough it through, and I shouldn't have done that.
Well, we can understand that. I mean, you're trying to do the best you can for your team and maybe reaching out there and making sure, but you got to take care of yourself, Bruce. We need you.
Oh, yeah.
We need you next week.
Sir, I should be 100% for sure this week.
Yeah, I want you to be 100%, but I do want you to be healthy at the end of the day.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it kind of killed me having to watch my teammates on the sideline getting tired and stuff, and messes up the game plan. And they did their thing last night. They stepped up big, and I'm glad we won. So,
man, how about Logan's game?
Yeah, he stepped up huge in the pass and run game. I knew he had it in him, and he's a dog, and he's going to be really good for him next year too. And I'm glad I got a teammate like him.
Yeah, man.
What about Sergio? What do you think about that?
He's a beast. He's a dude, and he stepped up tremendous. Like he has been the past couple of weeks in the playoffs. And the thing about him is he's always been like that. It was just his time, and he pulled up whenever you needed him.
That is true, man. We asked Coach last night. We're gonna ask you Craig. What do you say? What do you rate Sergio's flip skills? On 1 to 10?
1 to 10. What did he rate it?
I'd rate it a 10 just because, he told us he was going to do that. And, the fact that he actually did it and, what was at stake, and he still did it. So I thought that was really cool. We're definitely worth it now talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't land on his feet, so I'll give it like a 6.
Yeah. He could have hurt his back. There's so many bad things that could have happened right there.
Well, with the emotions going like that, Sergio has had a spectacular season. I mean, he set a record, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so to set a record for him to do that, I mean, I understand. I think coaches were probably a little more lenient on him if they would have been in the first round, right?
It was something that I did when I scored my 76th rushing touchdown in high school, so I fully understand.
Whatever, Craig.
So, Bruce, what do you think about that offensive line?
I think they're very good, and they're getting better week in week. So I rely a lot on them, and so I think they'll come through in the state game.
What about Ben?
Ben, obviously he's a beast too. Won't be able to find a quarterback like him in a long time around here, and I'm so glad to have him as a teammate, and like for me as a brother.
All right. Well, my kids grew up with Ben, and so for him as the youngest of all those kids, he lowers his head. He's not afraid to take a lick or put a lick on somebody.
He's not. Yeah, he's not like one of those prima donna quarterbacks at all. His favorite player is Sam Ellinger, so obviously that shows on the field.
He had that run last night where he came around the end, and it was like one-on-one head up and he lowered his shoulder, and
That
I
was
mean, he
kick
completely
return,
ran
right?
over that guy, and I was like, that right there was a big moment in the game because it seemed like everything after that was all PG.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was one of the plays that switched the momentum for sure, too.
Yeah.
So you'll be playing Friday, 3 o'clock. Wimberley, am I saying it right?
Yes, sir.
What do we know about them?
They're a good team. Our sophomore year, we went to state. My sophomore year, 2017.
We are.
They were in the 5th round with West Orange Stark, and they gave West Orange Stark a pretty good game, and they just couldn't make it. So, congrats to them for making it. But yeah, we're planning to handle business out there against them.
Yeah, they're going to pass the ball a lot, right?
Yeah, they pass a lot. Yeah.
Well, and I tell you what also goes to show if you're watching that game is to watch the confidence that Coach Gibson and the rest of the coaches have on y'all. Because when it was 4th and 2, there was no doubt they were going for it. And then being through that pass, and then I think Logan grabbed it and took it for a score. I mean, just awesome.
Yep.
Even the confidence in watching the corners.
Yeah.
Buddy Ray was a really good receiver, and I mean, Sergio was matched up. He would play him up close, and then he might back off a few yards, but it was pretty much one-on-one all night, and he broke up several plays, which were huge.
Yeah, Sergio is awesome on offense and defense side. He watches so much film. He reads those guys like a book.
Yeah.
The receiver, the number 11 last night had 18 touchdowns on the season, and I bet he didn't have more than 60, 70 yards.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
I don't think he had 60 or 70 yards.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the whole defense showed
Yeah,
up
I
for
mean, it
PG.
was-
I'm talking about, everybody.
It was big time, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Bruce, man, we're going to let you go sign a few autographs. So there's a bunch of kids waiting in line. Can you have Sergio come holler at us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, brother.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, man. We'll
Bruce?
see you all. We'll be able to see you all week.
Sir.
Good luck.
Sir, thank you.
Good luck, Bruce.
Sir.
This dude playing for his third straight state championship game. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. I was struggling with it. Third straight state championship appearance.
It's real hard to do that in Texas.
We got our Paul Pewitt insider, Eric Aiken.
Whatever, man.
Tell us about this game last night. What happened late?
Oh, man, it was really a good game. I'm kind of sucking wind today. Got in at 4 a.m. this morning and rolled with them. But they, at the end of the second quarter, I noticed that East Bernard defense was back on their heels a little bit, and you could just tell that defensive line was sucking wind.
Yeah.
Find out after the game, one of the offensive linemen for Paul Pewitt said, literally, he said, I'm not exaggerating, the 2 interior linemen, the D linemen, were crying tears like, please stop hitting us. They had been beat on, and so, I mean, not to down Paul Pewitt at all, I mean, but when you get a bunch of country boys hitting on you a little bit, it'll change your world just a little bit. Tough
I tell you
guys.
that, for a smaller school, Paul Pewitt's got more size on the line.
I was
than I've
thinking that
seen
too
in
when
a
we went and
while.
saw some big kids.
Yeah.
That might be the reason they lead the nation in rushing, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
well-
after last night, they do lead the nation
Yes,
in
they
rushing.
do. They're number 1. aren't they?
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams are starting to find out why we call this Beast Texas out here.
Yeah.
Give
well,
us- give us some-
And that's where those games are won and lost on
Yeah.
the offensive line and
Oh.
defensive line.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you can win that, you've got it made.
well, and it got worse for East Bernard because they come out in the second half. They get the ball, they stop them. I think they had about 8-play drive, and then Pewitt goes on an 18-play drive. Wow. 18 plays. And for a defense, that's demoralizing.
Yeah.
And so, and then they punch it in, go ahead. That was the final score of the game. But East Bernard was driving, got it down. They threw a ball. Kid gets to the half-yard line, and our man.
And Newton actually squeaked it out against East Bernard, didn't they? I mean, that was a. I heard that
Have
was,
you seen that film yet?
Yeah.
Okay, last play of the game.
Okay, that was Newton then.
Well, no, last night, Newton against Canadian.
Okay.
Last play of the game, Canadian is throwing the ball. They do a throwback, kind of like a little Philly special. Quarterback rolls right, throws it back to the left, kind of an inside throw. And, I mean, the linebacker, the corner steps up and drives the kid, and he's literally a foot from scoring, but it's a tie ball game if they kick the extra point. So, I mean, it's semifinal football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Coach Abram told them at halftime. He goes, guys, you're expecting them to just go, oh, there's Paul Pewitt. We're just going to lay over. He said, guys, this is semifinal football. It is going to be hard.
Yeah.
And they got a test in Gunner this coming week, so it's going to be a good deal. But I'm telling you, offensive line was the X factor last night. It was fun.
Yeah. I imagine when we were sitting there watching it late, it sounded like it was a great game to be at.
Yes.
I know Tony and Morgan spent some time up there and brought lunch. To
He went with us
to the Brahmas. Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna say. You've spent probably more time with that coach.
You can tell by the reaction from the coach.
Well, and give us, give us a little bit of insight about that coach and that program.
Absolutely, I appreciate you asking.
Oh
that.
yeah, well, and then what you do.
Yeah, well, thanks. One of the things that even this morning, and what I'm going to share with him on Wednesday, he does a coffee with coaches every Friday morning, but they're moving it to Wednesday morning because they want to go down early for the state championship, get those kids in that AT&T Stadium environment. It can be overwhelming for a small school like that that's never seen it. All of a sudden you put a football field with walls around it, and it changes the dynamics a little bit. But I was thinking about, number one in rushing. Those are things that you can put your hands on. But what you can't put your hands on is the character that they're building, how these guys operate off the field, the way they carry themselves. I mean, it is amazing how he's got these kids believing. Because I'm just going to be real honest with you, and even the fans will say the last 2 weeks the best team has not won, but the team with heart is the one that's won.
Yeah.
And we know it's. Have you ever had hecklers while you're trying to talk?
Yeah. These media guys.
I know. It's kind of crazy. But, man, the way Coach Abram has just led that team and got them believing from the beginning. He said in August, I'll see you at AT&T in December. I mean, that's a big statement to
They
make.
got some real fans down there, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No.
But once you're in, you're in. Let me just tell you.
Well, man, rundown. We're gonna have Sergio on real quick. We'll have you back on here in just a minute.
Yeah.
I've noticed you got Landon Jackson down there, Logan Johnson. I see Jackson Cobb, all with and Bruce Garrett with Trey Carson signing autographs for the kids, taking pictures. Shout out to them for coming out.
Yeah. I really appreciate Trey for coming back and giving back to his hometown.
Oh, yeah, man.
A lot of guys don't have to do that, and he really believes in Texarkana, and specifically for him, Liberty Isle, just because that's where he grew up. But he believes in the whole city, and man, just a phenomenal young man.
Yeah. Liberty Isle's put out some great athletes through the years. A lot of NFL players.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Craig had gone to Liberty Isle, what he would be.
Oh man, might have won 4 straight.
No,
he'd be in the NFL Hall of Fame by now.
I'd be over there picking out a location
there is
for
no
that
way
statue.
he would have beat out Henry, though. No way.
No, but all jokes aside, we are so fortunate in the Four Corners right here, the Four States area, to be able to have this kind of football, the athletes, and more importantly, the coaches and the communities that believe in each other.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That is true.
And that's the thing that I want to say is, I've got a lot of friends that live up in the Dallas area, and I've been getting messages, where's PG playing, what time, they want to come see him. Even though they didn't go to high school at Pleasant Grove, it's just the community going out to support these guys.
That's true.
And I think that's just awesome.
Let's do this. Papa, we're going to have you back on here in just a minute.
Yeah.
All right, I've seen Sergio waiting over here for a minute.
I didn't know where he was. Thanks, guys.
Oh, Aaron.
Come on, Sergio.
Craig's got to go check on his daughter. That kid's running around everywhere. Nobody's watching his, evidently. What kind of parent my man is over here.
Craig went to sign autographs.
Doesn't know where his kids are.
He went to
Anyway,
sign
so
autographs.
we got Sergio Rodriguez with us, man. A huge game last night, once again, both on offense and defense. And you can do almost a front flip. Almost.
He's starting the gymnastics team over at Pleasant Grove one I hear, man.
Yeah, it
pretty
was
awesome.
I was on the other end of the field, and I'm like, did he just do a flip? And we're like, yeah, but he didn't land it. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm just wondering if you're going to try the same thing next week.
Oh, no, definitely not.
I'm just wondering how much you got to run on Monday for that one.
Coach rated a 9.5, though.
Well, we're proud of you. That's
very much.
been an awesome season. And I tell you what you showed up yesterday on offense and defense, I thought when I saw that pass thrown to you that it was going to be intercepted. And you went up and took it away. Not only did you take it away, you took it away for a touchdown. Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, yeah, most of those deep balls, I try to get him to lead me, but I mean, it happens, coming up short. He's getting pressure in his face, and I mean, that's what we did a lot in 7-on-7 too. I had about 2 or 3 of those this summer, and I kind of like doing that. And I thought it was pretty fun, and I just went up for it, and then those 2 defenders just kind of ran into each other and gave me the open space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How do you like the replay I did for you?
Oh, yeah.
Like slow-mo?
I think it was really cool.
I was impressed with the balance because you about went down and you caught yourself. That was nice.
Well, Tony, I know you agree with this. Is you heard what he just said? 7-on-7.
Yeah.
I like to do that, and how that transition from that in the summer workout transition into the real game. That I hate to use this word, matters.
Yeah.
The one that we really want after there's goals and then there's the goal. And these guys are after a goal.
Yeah.
And so him talking
Sergio,
about that transition.
My question is, you always seem to be open. Are you just that fast? I mean, what is it?
Oh no, it's mostly just the play calls. You know, they see something, they're like, oh, they might not pick up on this. You know, and sometimes it does involve the speed.
Right. And when you say they're play calls, it takes an offensive line doing that blocking, your quarterback who can put it in between about a 6-inch range to get it to you, but then you to execute after that.
I mean, yeah, our O-line does great. I mean, they really stepped up for us a lot this season, and then obviously Ben putting it on the money for me. I mean, y'all saw the one last week at Gilmer. That was the kid might have tipped it with his fingertips, but it was right there for me.
Yeah. I was on the other. I think it was on the other side of the field of that one too, and I was like, "Oh my God, he caught it!" But so we have 2 quotes this year. I don't think I'll ever forget. One was Bruce preseason. I was like, "Yeah, man, that when he ran over Whittington at the line in the state championship game, he was like, "Yeah, man, if you're on the field, like anybody can get it." And I'm like, "All right." And I asked Sergio this year. I said, "Man, how do you get so open?" He was like, "I just run away from the defender."
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Something to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also, I mean, I want to give you kudos for your defensive play because I think that number 11 was like led their team, right? In receptions and just fun to watch.
Yeah, he had about over 2,000 yards for the season. Really good looking kid, good kid. He had great feet. You know, has offers to some schools. I mean, yeah, he's a great player.
That wasn't interference when they called you for interference either, was it?
I mean, he did a double move on me, and I got in his way. He pushed me, and I'm pretty sure he grabbed my face mask, but you know, so I just grabbed him because he was getting open.
Oh yeah, I remember like that is the smartest flag I've seen all year. That was a smart flag.
And absolutely, those announcers said that.
Yeah.
That's between the difference between 15 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
it was definitely
You
worth
take
it.
that every time, man.
Yeah.
Take the least damage.
Can't take too many though.
That's
Are
right.
your mom and dad very proud of you?
They weren't very happy about the flip, but other than that, yeah, they are.
You're going to state championship, baby. They got to be happy.
Yeah.
Hey, but I can tell you, at your class reunions, they'll be talking about, hey, Sergio, you remember that time?
Hopefully not.
I got a great angle of it. So, you know.
And then on top of that, we're okay with it. You've done awesome.
That's
Set
right.
the record for PG,
Yes, sir.
right? 10
Yes, sir.
interceptions? Tell us a little bit more.
I mean, that's really cool, especially, you know, Carson was the one who had it before me and such a great athlete. He could have easily gone and played, you know, D1 football like at Rice or something like that. Instead, he's playing baseball and good-looking kid, a lot taller than me. Definitely pick him over me any day of the week. But, I mean, I think it's really awesome that Gibson gave me that opportunity to take that record.
Man, I think you went in and earned it, though, man.
Yeah, very good athlete.
Breaking it.
All right, I want to ask you a question just from a receiver perspective. Ball's in the air, coming towards you, thought process. I know beyond just catch it. What's going through your mind? How are you processing as the ball coming? You know, are you thinking, hey, I need to go back, need to go forward? You know, what's your process?
It just depends
Don't
mainly.
screw up. You know?
If it's usually like up the middle, you know, I'd probably just take the first down, make sure I get it. But I mean, if it's like me still running on the stride, I'm gonna keep on trying to go. Usually just know where the defenders are, you know, take a quick look, and then once I see the ball, just take a good guess of where they're at and
So
keep going
basically,
upfield.
it's an instinct.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and that's what I love because he said, I got to know where the defenders are. I mean, that's the key in between a good receiver and a great receiver. And you've done a good job, bud.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
Well, and then also, I mean, we want to give that other team due. I mean, they were 14-0 coming in there.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's heartbreaking when you lose that last game like that.
Yeah, but we signed that one. We circled it and signed it.
Yeah. You know, but it looked as though they composed themselves pretty well in unfortunately losing. But we're just glad y'all came on the winning side.
Oh, yeah, they were a really good team. I mean, they deserved to make it to round 5, and there's a reason they were undefeated. I mean, they imposed their will pretty good.
They were definitely physical for their size, because to me they weren't that big, but
Yeah.
they were very physical.
I mean, you know, everybody talks. I remember thinking like, man, are we in trouble? Well, watching that game, because it was a lot closer than that score showed. I mean, you said, they beat them by 28. Like, that team did not give up. And, like, every time I looked up, it's like somebody was injured. And I'm like, where's Dr. Young at?
No, I mean, they're a good team. They know whenever, I mean, they've been down before, I'm sure. But they knew to keep fighting. That's what they had heart and soul. I give them that. But
you could tell the exact moment it was over. Yeah. I mean, you could see just the air go. Yep. And it was really your touchdown, but ended up being Dylan's. After that, it was done.
Yeah, I mean, taking more than 2 scores up, I mean, kind of takes away the breath from them.
Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt after that. You could just see the air go.
Well, I can tell you.
But they had Pleasant Grove on their heels, man. I'm telling you, Craig and I were like, man, it was not rocking over there for a
Until
little
his
bit.
great catch.
Yeah.
I was getting a little worried there for a
That
second.
one right at halftime,
Yeah.
I mean, that was all. I mean, take away how great of a catch it was. That touchdown, most needed touchdown of the season.
What, they get the ball with like 50 seconds left?
Yeah.
Something like
They
that.
scored
Less than a
real
minute
quick.
Scored.
Yeah.
5 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, next week, Texarkana is going to be investing in a new coach for the Cowboys with all the money they're going to spend at 18.
yeah.
So
Well, Ben had like almost 300 yards passing, 3 or 4 touchdowns, right?
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
right
it
over
was
300.
just balled out, man. Ben's a gamer.
And then he played defense too. I mean, Nick going down. I mean,
How is Nick?
I mean, he's good. I'm sure he'll be fine for this week. I mean,
Dr. Young, I'm going to need you to be sure he's fine.
We'll be there.
yeah, we're definitely gonna need him. I mean,
We can do some magic healing.
Yeah, him being out took Ben in.
Really? You know anybody?
Sergio, I tell you what, though, it's been awesome to watch you this season and enjoy that victory.
Sir.
And then I know all the coaches will be preparing you for next week, but yeah, that's been awesome. 3-peat.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you just think about that in y'all's career, not many people make that. What, 1%?
Yeah.
Something
Oh,
like that?
it's low. Yeah.
There's
So-
only one team with no tears in their eyes at the end of the season and a
Yeah.
smile on their face, and that's
Yeah.
the state champ. And these guys are probably going to be those guys. I know they're not going to go in overconfident. They're not going to take anybody for granted. But I feel like they're going to be the guys.
So, man, you're gonna be wore out after this game. They throw the ball down there every down.
Yeah, I've been watching them a little bit. They're pretty good team.
Yeah, quarterback's thrown for 3,500 yards, 34
Really?
touchdowns or something.
They beat a good Silsby team pretty handily last night. Silsby's been really good. They had a great running back.
One thing I looked at is just how many points were put up. There was
Yeah.
like 115 points scored in that game or something like that.
Who was even favored in that game? Because I
have no
Silsby
idea.
Was. I thought
They were. They were.
You know what's crazy? Silsby lost to Spring Hill by 20 points. And they were ranked like top 3 in the state at the time.
Wow.
And I was preferring for PG to play Silsby.
Hey, Spring Hill's that team though that you know sometimes they're going to sneak up and beat them good teams like that.
And that's Silsby's side of the bracket, which I think it's Region 4. I
Yeah.
don't know what reason. It's a weaker side of the bracket.
Well, they
And,
played. Frinquero came out of there last year.
Yeah, no, Jordan came out of there
yeah.
last year. Cuero didn't. You know, Cuero struggled this year. I heard even they were coaches on the hot seat, believe it or not.
Sounds like Longview High School. Speaking of a job you don't want, you do not want that job.
So let me ask you, Sergio, after y'all win the championship
talking
and
about
you're co-MVP, what about basketball season? I need to know.
I think we look pretty good. I mean, right now there's only like 6 or 7 of them up on varsity right now because they're gonna
Right.
get like 8 of us out of football. I mean, we got all the DNs, Landon, Marcus, Tori. They're gonna be coming in to help out with Landon's brother Layton down low. I'll be They just need more bodies, you know. And I think we're gonna make a pretty good run of basketball too.
Well, I give a shout out to Coach McCowan because he's kind of getting hit hard right now because
6 guys on the bench.
absolutely. I mean, you know, there's only so much that you can do. But when we get the whole team there, including you, Sergio, it's going to be pretty awesome. I think y'all are going to do well.
Doc, I tell you, basketball in Texarkana is going to be really good this year. I mean, I've watched Liberty Isle, Arkansas, all 4 teams. Of course, Pleasant Grove's down right now, obviously, because of what we just talked about, numbers.
Right.
But it's fixing to be fun to watch in this. You're going to see some playoff runs, I think, this year in basketball. But Skinner coming back to Texas High, that's a huge, huge deal. And then Dwoski Davis that moved over from Clarksville, who was AD, and now he's at Liberty Isle. I mean, he's put a system in there, and I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch.
But we don't want to overlook state, though.
No,
Sergio.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to let you go sign some autographs over there. Could you have Logan come holler at us?
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
Uh-huh. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming, man.
Sir.
Hey, you're a big basketball fan, aren't you? You got a basketball player? Huh?
Did you not see them last night?
Man, he's about 7'9".
Yeah, I know. I'm messing with you.
My wife and I were streaming that, and everybody's like looking up to him, and I'm like, I didn't realize he was that tall either.
Yeah, he's tall. Brooke told me he was on a date last night.
I think he was.
He left her in the stands to come down.
That's right.
Hey, man.
Half his time was spent on the field, not with her, but
Yeah.
I think he can make that up.
Well, it might make for a good story later on.
Him and 3 of his fellow classmates that are freshmen there at the University of Dallas came down to watch Pleasant Grove, and then his date, and then another young lady came down and just had an awesome time. You know, they get to see what Pleasant Grove's about,
Yeah.
and for y'all to have them on game day was awesome. You know,
Oh,
I
man.
think he got a big kick out of it, and then of course Craig busted me out and said, "Well, your dad would jump in here any time."
Leave it to Craig.
Yeah, speaking of big games last night, man, we got Logan Johnson with us. You talk about next man. Everybody was like, oh, it's next man up. I was like, yeah, Logan's big time.
I appreciate that.
He, three touchdowns last night?
Yes,
Did y'all have stats yet?
I think it came out, I think I had 104 receiving yards, and then I had like 60 rushing yards.
They were all big, though.
My
Yes, sir.
favorite run was this little 7-8 yard close to the goal line run, though. The one he got stopped at about the 2 yard
Yeah,
line.
and
He
just
ran over
bulldozed.
2 or
Yes,
3
sir.
people. That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
The
Yes, sir.
linebacker come up to hit him, and he kind of folded him over backwards. That was nasty.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and at the end of that play, my tackle, Cam Weekly, he just picked me up, and like 3 other people just carried me like
that-
2 or
that
3
was
extra
nice.
yards. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty awesome, though. Almost every time you touched the ball, Logan, you broke their back, it seemed like. You know, almost
Yes,
every
sir.
time you had the ball, it deflated that defense.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's just like everything was open last night, like for fullbacks, tailbacks, wingbacks, everything. Surge was open all night, so it just holes in the defense we just pick apart. Coach Gibson does a great job of it, so it makes our job a lot easier.
I was just talking to Sergio over there on the side. I was like, I don't think you realize how big of a name you're making for yourself.
Yeah.
You included. 20 years down the road, you'll meet guys, and you may say your name, and they'll say, man, I remember you. You killed us in this round of the
Yep.
playoffs,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So y'all are doing a great job, man.
Yes, sir. I'm glad we're coming together and doing this. You know, it's big for the city. It's big for us as a program. It's just really special what we're doing.
Yeah.
I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort from everybody, offensive line, defensive line, but you made it look easy last night. I will say that.
I appreciate that.
I saw your mom after the game. I was walking in the car and saw her, and she was almost in tears. She was so proud for you.
Yes, man.
Like, he's been putting in a ton of work.
I mean,
You
that's,
know?
that's not the kind of game you dream of as like a 7 or 8 year old, you know?
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean-
like it's just dreams coming true for me. Like it's so crazy. Like you like literally dream about going to state.
Yeah.
Like just dream about it, and it's like it's actually happening, and it's so crazy to me. It's so surreal. I just so glad this opportunity just came. You know what I'm saying?
And you're just a junior, right?
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, after this year is done, are you ready to step into those shoes and become one of those leaders on the team, because they're going to need you to lead next year as well?
Yes, sir. You know, we're losing, I think it's 21 or 22 seniors, so it's like there are a lot of shoes to fill. And Ben, Bruce, Sergio, like all the big names, and even the small names, the glue people that we couldn't do anything without, being the O-line, the tackles, like interior defense, linebackers, like safeties, everything. It's just like everyone's got to step up. Not like we're going to need a lot of people too, but I'm ready. I think everyone else will be ready for it to just go have another state run, do what we can.
State run? You already ran. You're there.
Yes, sir.
He's talking about next year, becoming a leader next year.
Yeah.
So what y'all got planned for this week, Logan?
Just have the best week of practice we could possibly have. Be focused Monday through Thursday, just preparing, watching film, just studying.
It's Wimberley, right?
Yes, sir.
Do y'all know much about them? Anybody?
I saw some videos. I think they throw it around quite a bit.
Yes, sir. So we just gotta.
Backfield's got to be ready. Defensive backfield.
Yes, sir.
But the defensive backfield has been peaking at the right time.
yeah.
So
Yes.
what better time of year to face a passing team than now when
And
the
their depth
entire
is better
team is
right
playing
now
good?
on the defensive backfield. I think that helps too.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, and I think there were a lot of times too when the defense had pressure on their quarterback,
Most
making
definitely.
them, maybe change his pass or do something just a little bit different. That it's just hard to put that in stats other than saying he was rushed.
Yeah, right. It's like you can't put a stat on what our whole defensive line does, because like both our DNs get so much attention because they are great players, but it couldn't work without Jamie and Tori and Cam up front, like in the middle, because like they have to double team Cam, because like you can't put one person on him, so like it frees up another hole, which a linebacker or Landon or Marcus can shoot through to get that sack. So it's like you can't put a stat on that. He's definitely our interior is definitely.
I will say I very rarely see the opposing teams run up the middle.
Right, it's rare.
Everything's
very rare.
outside just about.
You gotta get lucky on a play. Yeah,
I mentioned last night that they started getting pressure a lot more in the second half, and he would roll out and he would throw the ball, and you look where he was throwing the ball, and it would be 3 people covering that receiver, and then on most of the throws he did make, they were contested. I mean, everybody was where they were supposed to be last night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Coach Fuller usually, I mean, not usually, just always, he makes the right calls. His he likes to say he sets up our defense to make plays. So it's like he can do his job. He will do his job to call the play and get you there. But it's got to be your responsibility to remember your job and do your job.
Be an athlete.
Yes, and he does it. And Coach Fuller does a great job of doing that. I mean, he holds it down. I'll say that much. He holds it down.
Logan, tell us a little bit about that offensive line. What have they done for you?
Oh, they got my back. You know
Give us some names. The only time they get called is either illegal motion or holding.
Right.
We need their names when it's good.
I mean, Jordan Stewart, he's our tackle. He stepped up huge this year. He's shown a ton of growth. You know what I'm saying? I'm very proud of him. He's been very dominant these past few games. And then you have Chris Druin. He's, probably the smallest O-lineman you'll ever see in 4A, 5A, anything. But, he can dominate a game on the line just because he's got that dog in him. And then you got Reese and Cartwright at both at center just rotating, and they both hold it down. It's like they're both good buddies, but it's like, all right, let's see what we both can do. You know what I'm saying? They challenge each other. So it's like they make each other better. And then you got Alex Murphy and Blake Slade at left guard. And Alex, he's so athletic, like he's crazy athletic for being like a guard. Like he can get out there and roll. He'll chop, he'll pancake people, he can do whatever you want. And you trust running behind him. Blake does the same thing. He's very good. He's shown a ton of improvement this year. And then you got Landon Watlington and Cameron Weekly on the left tackle. And Cameron's playing both ways, so it's like he's gassed, but he's giving his all the whole game. He dominates. Like he's super strong, like a 600-pound squat dude who can just mow people over when he feels like it. And then Landon, he's just a really smart player, just knows his rules, and you'll count on him to do it. And then you got 3 or 4 tight ends. It's Landon, Marcus, Luke Mueller, and Jamie. And they all hold it down always. You see Luke comes in, and we run a waggle last night, and he's ready. He catches it, almost scored. Like he trucked the person.
1 yard.
Yes,
almost 1 yard. And he reached out.
I thought we needed a review.
That's right. The whole crowd was up.
I'll tell you, one of the leaders on your team that's not playing right now went down in the Liberty Yellow game, and I hated to see him go down. Was Connor Stanfield.
That's who I was going to say
One
next.
of the best kids I have ever been around.
That's a big loss.
Yeah.
Great leader.
Matter of fact, I was standing just within 20 yards when he went down, and I was like, he was just obviously in pain, but man, great kid. Talk a little bit about him because he's just a great family. You know.
Yes, sir. He's always been a leader on the team, very vocal. He'll do anything a coach needs. He volunteers for everything. He got that award from Dave Campbell's being a servant leader.
Servant leader, yep.
You know what I'm saying? And his family, they're just great people. His dad is the announcer, does so much on just social media, promoting us, just everything. His mom's a great one. She helps out. She helps a lot out with the team and stuff. Earlier in the spring when I wanted to go to a camp, and I don't think I had a ride. She took me, Connor, and Jamie all to the camp in Louisiana.
That's awesome.
Just to go.
Well,
That's awesome.
I think, unfortunately, when something like that, an injury happens, it happens for a reason. And Connor's, there's good things out there to come in his future. They're a great young man,
absolutely,
a great athlete. And I know his mom and dad have put their heart and soul in him, but there's going to be better things to come. And we don't know why that injury happened, but the injury happened. And he's going to get over it, and it's going to make a better man out of all of them.
Guys, I got a little story about Connor. Connor, when he first moved here, I met his dad at the baseball draft.
Imagine that. Not you in a baseball draft.
He's 12 years old, and I get him in like the second round, like the last pick. And all they see, he's a big kid. You look at Connor, he's a big kid. And all I see is his form and how he breaks down on a ball, and something as a coach you need to be paying attention to. Well, you know how big Connor's just a big guy. Well, I had to start playing him at second base, and all the other coaches are asking me, "Why you got that huge kid at second base? He's just a big, because usually second basemen are mobile." I said, "Okay, just pay attention." Oh man, Connor was one of the better second basemen I ever had, and I mean, if you look for the just physical size he's got, you would not have his athletic ability. I can't for his size, his feet. He moves well. A kid his size should not have been able to play a good second base, and he very much did.
That's footwork, as well as just the technique. Knowing that is what has got y'all there, and it's been great to watch. As a fan, and then also as somebody who supports y'all, and just to be able to watch that is huge.
Yes, sir.
We enjoy it. You're doing a great job, Logan.
I just want to go back and talk about one player that I did notice last night, and that was Cameron Weekly. I mean, every time the whistle blew, the guy he was going after was 7 or 8 yards from the play, and I went to him on the sideline and I said, drive him 10 yards down the field every play, and he literally did it all night long.
He does. He holds it down, definitely. I mean, he's just a dog. He
holds it down, and he's a dog. Every one of them are dogs, man.
No better way to explain it.
All of them, it's a team effort.
Man, now y'all the dogs.
Yeah, we're the Hawks, but we all some dogs. But it's definitely a team effort. We couldn't do it we all hold it together we're all a team. You know what I'm saying?
So, Logan, what do you think Coach has planned for y'all this week?
I mean, I guess we'll find out Monday.
Yeah.
That's all we got to say about it. So,
we know there's going to be scheme.
A lot of attention to detail.
There's going to be scheme and a lot of attention to detail.
Yes, sir. That's always pay attention to all the details at PG, definitely.
East Bernard, we were talking about them at Pewitt from last night.
Mm-hmm.
They reminded me a lot of Pleasant Grove as far as the disciplined football. Because, I mean, they're not going to fumble, and everybody knows their assignment.
Right.
That's the deal with you guys. Coach Gibson's all about everybody knowing their assignment. I've been at a practice, and
speaking of fumbling,
the whole line is all about, I mean, he's going to be over there wearing them out, knowing
sir.
their down blocks are where they need to be.
Speaking of fumbling, last night you could see every play early in the game, they were going after that ball.
Right,
and I told Ben, I said, remind your guys that they're going for the ball. And, I mean, he immediately turned. He said, all my running backs, make sure you hold the ball. They're going after the football.
I will say,
they were
this
trying
guy's
to
a difference maker in the game over here, man. You got to coach.
I think, though, just
like Coach said,
as Greg is saying that, Coach Gibson was telling him the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you can best believe Coach Gibson somewhere watching this, getting some pointers from me. I'm just kidding, Coach. I'm just kidding.
As we were watching it, what is obvious to see, what Coach Gibson and his whole coaching staff, what they have and what they bring to you young men, and then on top of that, their competitive spirit. It's not over until it's over for the coaching staff. I mean, they don't let up.
They don't.
I mean, they had a 21-point lead, and it was not let up because just a few fumbles or a few interceptions could make a difference in the game. And they kept their foot on it till the game's over.
And that's the difference between a team that just wants to get there and a team that wants to win it.
Right.
I see it every year. A team that you can tell when they come out of the tunnel, they're just happy to be in AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
No, I'm here for the experience, but I'm going to have something to remember it by, and it's called a state championship ring.
One thing I can say about Greenwood last night, though, they were very disciplined, and they played hard to the end of the game. To me, the biggest difference is Pleasant Grove, both lines just wore them out. I mean, just kept them on the defense on the field and just overpowered them the whole game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, man, you probably need to go sign a few more autographs. You ever had to do that before?
Never. I just got a signature today. I never had one before today.
You think maybe you could send Landon over here?
I got you on that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Logan, good luck this week.
Yeah.
We're pulling for you.
Yeah.
That's an awesome game, man.
He already knows.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
I tell you, just
got Coach over here.
I'm
man.
telling you, yeah,
Coach.
that's right. They're going to call him up. What second and 10? What we need, Craig?
I'll probably be banned from the sideline after that comment earlier.
No, it was fun to watch. You know,
Yeah,
we were
we'll
streaming
know.
it. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it, but my wife and I were streaming it, and it was just fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's good for the community and everything. So,
Craig may be invited to call some plays this weekend. You know?
Because Gibson said I already called some.
yeah.
You know, it looked like kind of got quiet, like Tony was talking about. It kind of got quiet there for a little bit, and then once Sergio made that touchdown, it kind of changed the whole momentum. You know, because going in the half, right there, about 45 seconds left, it looked like that the other team had the momentum.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
That was a 7-point game at that time,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That touchdown by Sergio before halftime was huge.
Doc, we got the patty cake man himself.
That's right. That's right.
Landon Jackson's joining
Yes, sir.
us. How's it feel to be going back again?
It is a great feeling just knowing that we were able to do it 3 years in a row.
How good does it feel to actually get to play in this one?
A lot better, honestly.
Yeah,
So, I mean, like,
absolutely.
I was happy for my team last year, but I was still, there was just something in me that was like kind of upset because I couldn't play, you know? But like, it was great just being a part of the program last year, able to help them out and like help coach them and lead the guys that were playing. So that was pretty good.
Well, Landon, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I know that you didn't have like 10 sacks last night, but you had a ton of pressures, a ton
Yes, sir.
of changing the whole offense dynamic when you put pressure on the quarterback or the running back. Tell us
Yes,
just
sir.
a little bit about that.
I mean, they had we fixed things up a little bit in the second half because they were doing really good on the outside run. So normally, like before this game, I was playing a lot more outside backer, and in this game, they thought they put me and Marcus at both ends, like how we used to do. And we just ran like a 5-down front, and then towards the second half, they moved. Whenever Nick got hurt and everything, they moved me to outside backer so we can contain that outside toss.
And that's just
Yes,
it.
sir.
You said it right there. Contained is what
Yes,
y'all
sir.
did last night. And you put the pressure on him.
Yes,
It-
sir.
you know, the stats are hard to say. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's hard to say
Yeah.
when you pressured him, but you were in that quarterback's face
Yes, sir.
and hit him like one step after he threw it. But
Yes,
his
sir.
throws were off because of you
Yeah.
being right there in his face.
Yes, sir. Our whole front played pretty well, and our secondary really stepped up last night as well. I was really proud of them. So they were coming up making plays in the backfield on the run game. So, I mean, I was proud of them.
What about Luke Muller almost getting that touchdown?
Man, I was excited for him. I thought he had it for a second.
yeah,
and then,
He wanted it bad, didn't he?
Yes,
He
sir.
really fought on that one.
I was talking to Logan and just asked him about being a junior, getting ready to go into senior season.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to step into those shoes to replace Ben and some of those senior leaders?
I mean, I feel like we're really prepared just because how much Ben and all them really guided us throughout this season. Because our whole grade, like me, Marcus, Logan, Nick, all of us matured just a whole lot throughout this season. I mean, I feel like we'll be prepared whenever the time comes, but we're just going to keep on getting their guidance until it does.
Yeah.
So, I know we have the game, got the big game coming up next week, and I'm not, just follow me here, I'm not expecting an announcement where you're going and all that, but you've been in this whole recruiting process. You know,
Yes,
you and I have
sir.
talked about it a little bit, but just, you know, all that decision to be made and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
But talk a little bit about, because I mean, you're getting to hang out with Trey Carson today, who's
Yes,
been
sir.
through the recruiting process. I mean, he's got some probably great pointers for you. Talk a little bit about what you see coaches are looking for in recruits, the questions they ask you, because they already know you're talented,
Yeah.
but just the character questions and stuff, because I know you probably get asked those questions
Yes,
by
sir.
coaches.
Yes, sir.
Talk
See,
a little bit about that.
A lot of the coaches are really more so like, they don't really just look for athletic ability because, I mean, they find that all over the country. There's
Huddle,
a million players that
Yeah.
have the ability, but, man, I mean, the main thing when most of those coaches are grades in the classroom, the way you even just talk to them on the phone, if you're respectful, they can tell if you've been raised well or not. Like, they don't want a kid who's just gonna. I mean, and also they talk to your coaches as well, just to make sure, like, because I mean, they're not gonna want a kid who's gonna come there and just be toxic to the program. They're gonna want somebody who's gonna come there, help lead, help out the team.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. What about, I mean, they're also checking social media.
Yes, yeah. Big time. That's a big.
role in the whole process now because everybody's on social media. They don't want to look on somebody's page and see just a bunch of nonsense, you know?
Absolutely. So I'd probably be out of there as far as getting recruited in this day and age.
But that would be a correct assessment, sir.
Well,
Actually
Landon,
out of there back then too, Craig.
I just want to say, Landon, knowing you and my kids growing up with the same with you, I mean, it is awesome to watch. And awesome to watch you, and you give back. Like being here, you're at those communities, you're at the Milk Bowl or whatever the Milk Bowl is now.
I go with Milk Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what these young kids, boys and girls look up to, I mean, keep that up. You're doing a great job. And that's what coaches look for. And if for some reason football doesn't work out, you still got that to fall upon, just being a good person, a good Christian, and somebody that everybody looks up to.
Yes, sir.
And of course, coming back from that knee injury, you've done awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not many people can do that and be at the caliber that they have.
Yes, sir.
So we're all wishing you the best.
Yes, sir.
And just after next week and we win state and you get that defensive end title of the year,
sir.
and then all these other coaches come calling on you. You just remember game day was here first.
How was your trip to LSU from an experience standpoint?
It was a really exciting trip. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I had the most fun the next day when I really just got to see how everything, not just the game. Because, I mean, I like to see how it'd be like how the players, basically just how it is every day for the players and not just on game day. So, I mean, it was really exciting. I had a great time and got to look around on campus.
I know Mr. Stan feels like over there in your ear going, hey, that's God's country. So.
Could you understand Coach O, or did you have to have an interpreter?
I mean, how you doing, man? I mean, in person, it's a lot easier to understand them. But over the phone, I talk to them. It's tough.
But you gotta love that fire and passion that he has. I watched a video of him walking up to the stadium before the game, and I'm just like, man, maybe I should have went to LSU over
The
there.
best thing he's done, though, is try to get a different offensive coordinator, though, man. Their offense this year is crazy.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm going to tell you something. They ain't no better food than down in that direction, man. So,
and then that quarterback is on fire.
Hey,
hopefully he'll win the Heisman. I think he's going to.
Oh, he'll win the Heisman.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. If Adam and Eve had been Cajun, could you imagine where we'd be? They'd be forgetting the apple, and they'd just eating the snake. So I'm just going to
We'd all be about 100 more pounds. Well, Landon, so what Wimberley, do y'all know much about them?
They're more of a spread offense. They resemble a lot of Carthage, Gilmer look, Henderson too, and they don't run a whole lot. But when they do, I was watching a little bit of film last night right when I got home, and their running back's a little stockier, thicker, and they can play.
Is that not something else? I mean, they just won the state semifinal, and Landon's sitting here telling me he got home and he was watching the other team that he's getting ready to play.
Yeah.
Preparing already. That's pretty awesome, Landon.
Yes, sir.
That's the difference between being good and great.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And actually, I think that's going to set you up for a better game if they spread it out like that, because you're going to be able to get in their face even more.
Yes, sir. I'm going to be studying a whole lot of film this week and figuring out all the tendencies and everything.
And Marcus had a good game. Your whole defensive line, tell us a little bit about them.
I mean, we have an amazing relationship with just our whole D-line as a unit. We have team dinners at our Coach Taylor's house, and at the beginning of the year we had a front seven dinner at my house, and just our whole defense has really grown together. And I mean, I love them like they're my family.
And then when you get to play offense, how's that?
Offense, I love that as well. Me and Ben have we've always been really close because we've just grown up together, but I mean, football-wise, we've grown a lot tighter this season than we have any other season, because last year I was playing offense, but I didn't get to finish the year, so, but it's been nice.
My only coaching advice, Craig, was when Ben is calling the play, it's either you or Marcus standing right there in front of Ben, and nobody else can see. So my only plan would be Coach Gibson maybe move Landon or Marcus over to the side so everybody else can see what the play is.
You know, it used to be flipped when Ryan Mallett was here at Texas High. He towered above everybody. You know, everybody's offensive lines down here, so it was very entertaining. So
yeah, we're all so happy for y'all.
I'm gonna bring Tony into this a little bit here, because I know he didn't coach you. He's bragged about everybody's coached. I mean, he even coached Craig, from what I understand. I don't know. But you're welcome.
I coached him.
Oh, you coached him? But you played a lot of baseball growing up. Wasn't it the Outlaws you played with?
Yes, sir. I played.
How do you think that transitioned to, because y'all played at a pretty high level, baseball, open tournaments. How do you think that learning to compete at that level has helped you now?
Really just all throughout, like, I mean, I grew up playing baseball. I played a little bit of football and basketball as well, but, I mean, it wasn't as competitive in, like, the league and everything. But growing up playing with teams and, like, baseball when we were younger was so much more competitive than what it is now, honestly. And, I mean, that really just grew my drive to compete. I mean, like, it was, especially, like, those Sunday games, it's Blues go home. So that's how it is in the playoffs
That's
as well.
exactly right, yeah. Yeah, 6 of those, man.
I just want to say one thing before you get out of here. Like, I've been around you guys a little bit this year. I just want to say, stay the kid that you are.
Yes, sir.
You know, don't change anything. You're a great kid.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're a great motivator on the field. Everybody loves you, so just stay that person right there.
Well, he's going to stay that way.
And enjoy your ride. And enjoy your ride.
Family, really does.
And then one other question, Landon. After y'all win state, what about basketball?
Basketball, we got over half the team coming back, so I feel like we'll be really good this season. We got Torrey, he's the move-in.
Right.
He'll be playing. He claims his main sport's basketball, but I mean he's really good at basketball, but he's really good at football as well.
As we were talking about earlier, poor Coach McCowan, he's missing half his team still playing football. But when y'all all get there, you're going to put it together, and we look forward to it.
Of course, his brother Layton's on the basketball
Absolutely,
team.
yeah. Layton's been doing awesome. Get the Twin Towers down there.
Yes, sir. And then we'll have the guards like Sergio, Dylan.
Hey, I coached Layton, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. We went 0-12.
I got
you
a
remember
question.
that? I don't know if you remember that little team we did. It was the last year he was PGA.
Oh, yeah.
We were awful.
Middle school.
We were
I got a
terrible.
question for you, Landon. Watching Burris on the football field, he's got such great hands for a big guy. How is he on the basketball court?
He's a really good basketball player as well. He's a big body. He doesn't get up as much, but he can play down low. He's really aggressive.
So did we get a top 5 out of Landon schools yet?
Not quite yet.
I know where you're going. All the insiders get with me. I know where it is.
He's got it figured out, Landon.
I got it figured out.
Well, University. SAU, man.
Hey, Landon, wherever you go, we wish you luck.
Yes,
and
sir.
again, you know, you've been a great example for these young men and women that watch you, and just keep that up so they have somebody to look up to.
Yes, sir.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, I appreciate you coming out here today, too.
You might need to go referee that little football game.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over
I'll
here.
say this, guys. I saw Landon in Roadhouse here a while back, and I liked the shirt he was wearing. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I know what shirt that is. It was an Oklahoma shirt.
Now, speaking of places to go, you think you could send over the new University of Arkansas recruit baseball player Jackson Cobb?
Yes, sir.
All right, Landon. Good luck.
Appreciate it, bro. So I'll tell y'all where Landon's going. Going to Henderson State. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Right.
I wonder how many eyebrows that would raise.
No, he's going to sign autographs. I can't believe he found pants long enough for himself, man.
I tell you, it's so fun to watch these young men grow up and to be able to come up and be examples for other kids, you know. It's just fun to watch.
Y'all seen him out there signing autographs that day. I guarantee you he signed 500 autographs.
Dude, he was signing socks, bare skin. Like, I don't think Dr. Young would approve of the Sharpie on the skin.
Hey, that's all right. If it gets infected or gets torn up, come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center.
Right.
What's going on, Doctor?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
That was an awesome game last night, Jackson.
It was an awesome game.
How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Jackson's out here coaching, talking back to the referees, I'm hearing.
Well, we're
Not a lot, just a little bit.
sorry about the injury. How's that coming along? The
Coming along
ACL, right?
Yes, sir. Dr. Mitchell actually last night told me I can start hitting today, so just off a tee, like not that, intense.
I was about to say, we're going to have you back next week? What are you talking about?
A little quick, right?
I would.
So where are you going again? Remind us.
Arkansas.
All right, gonna play baseball, right?
Yes, sir.
Scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Man, we're proud of you. That's awesome. I know it's been years in coming. You've seen you grow up.
Yeah.
University of Arkansas.
Arkansas has a great baseball program also.
Yes, sir.
They're good at something?
Yes, they are.
They're good at
Track.
everything besides
Just
football.
that, but they're
Track and baseball.
Track, they're very good
Oh,
at. Something about a national championship or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Women's cross country.
Yeah.
Basketball. women's basketball.
So what do you think about your team?
We're going to win state.
All right, there you go.
So this team's going to throw the ball a lot, from my understanding.
Yeah, they're a little spread air raid offense, little RPO.
Well, I'm excited for that just because the last 4 or 5 weeks our defensive backs have stepped it up.
Yes,
it's great to have Bingham back there. Seeing a little KJ playing back there, and this past game even saw a little Ben playing back there. So I'm excited for a team to want to try to throw.
I'm going to be excited to see what they're going to throw out all the stops this state game. I'm just kind of be excited to see what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
We're going to have players playing everywhere.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
So what do y'all know about Wimberley? Do you know much about them other than what these gentlemen have mentioned?
I mean, obviously, they throw the ball a lot, really like high-powered offense. Defense, I'm not very sure. I'm pretty sure like the whole, like they're if they were one-dimensional, it'd be offense.
Mm-hmm. What about their defense? Do we know much on them?
I don't know anything
sure
about
not,
them
yeah.
much more than they second in their district.
Yeah, second.
But they're there for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
they won enough games to
And they
play
beat
it for
some
the
good
championship.
teams to get there
So-
on their side. So.
They've been up and down pretty much all year.
Well, Jackson, I know it's hurt you having this injury, but I tell you what, there's better things to come, you know, and
Yes, sir.
everything is meant for a reason. You getting that scholarship at the University of Arkansas to play baseball for what they were in the World Series, almost won the World Series, 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And then they were in it last year.
Right. Well, we want to see you up there, and we want to see you win it.
Should have
next
been
time.
in the World
Yeah.
Series.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Arkansas is almost always there.
Not in football. They're never close.
I was always saying Arkansas has like the best worst fans in the world. Every year, Arkansas is going to win the SEC, and it's like you can't really believe that, do you? I mean, you can't really believe it.
And then
But
they become the best SEC fans in the world.
yeah. SEC, yeah. Oh man.
Baseball-wise, they're best fans in the country.
There you
For
go.
sure.
There you go.
I think like they said the attendance at Baum Stadium during the regionals and the super regionals is like right behind the World Series.
Really?
Bigger than any other like college.
It's been everybody in Arkansas came to that game.
Yeah,
Probably.
I knew about 10 people from Texarkana that went up and watched the World Series.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long drive.
I got an invite, but I felt weird going with everybody.
I do like the catch name though, the Omahogs. I mean, that's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pretty catchy.
what stood out with you, Jackson, last night on that game?
I want to say didn't have the best first half, obviously, but we went in at halftime, and you know Coach Gibson, he's always going to get us fired up. And I mean, we only got one more ride together, one more week this week, and we just thought about that. So it was pretty much everybody's going to do it for them, like each other, and the seniors and stuff, and everybody just wants it.
Does it give you goosebumps when Coach Gibson gets up there and starts doing his speech?
When he cries, I cry.
Fired up.
I get a little teared up.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I mean, he's got the whole Hawk Nation, and even those at Texas High, Liberty ILO, and Arkansas High. I mean, we all root for each other when you're not playing each other. You know, and that's just the way the 4 states is, and it's just fun to watch. And he and his staff have done such an amazing job. The administration, the school board, and then everybody else just giving what they can to be there to support the Hawk Nation.
We got a really good fan base.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Let's go inside and see what's going on with Santa, and we'll be back here after a while.
Good luck, Jackson.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Somebody on Facebook said Dr. Young needs to fire all us. He's the best broadcaster we got.
Delete that comment.
Will you let?
Watch where you step. I see that. And if you want to see the pictures, if you're walking to the other side of this table, we'll touch your way. Okay? There he is. There he is.
Oh, there you go, Lauren. Oh, you were hanging out. Oh, that was so good. I just heard the back door, that means those are my kids. Here, do you want to lean down for Santa? Lean that way? There you go. Alright, 1, 2, 3, be small, please. Worship me now. Oh, and also I want bellies. Like the leotard and bellies. Yeah. Hi, how are you?
You got your hands full. Don't worry about it. There we go. Can we interrupt just for a second? Y'all, okay? We're going to take a quick picture. All right, Sam. We're going to take a quick picture. Come on, ladies.
Here, there's also, you can sit right here. And I'll move this. Y'all have more places to stand. I'm going to grab them on my phone.
Come on, Jamie and Oliver.
Oh, I forget I'm right behind you. I'm not taking it yet. All right, small for me first. Right here, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I've got
Hold on. I'm gonna change my
a lot of people are like, oh, okay.
Okay, sorry. That's right. All right, everybody look on. There we go. Okay, everybody look here. We'll do one more. Awesome.
All right, Sam. They get double for letting us break. All right, so make sure your sleigh is loaded down for this week.
They look comfy. Oh, beautiful. Look right here. Look right here. There we go. Got her looking. Y'all want to put in the picture? You want to get in the picture if you want to. Here, I'll hold your back. Yeah, just sit there and Dad's going to go down. Yep. Perfect. Right there. Put your hand behind the face. Right there. There we go. No. Put your hands in cheese on your feet. Perfect. That's perfect. It's perfect. Except we need to like kind of hold it. Yeah, they want to keep it like. Thank you. You're welcome. And they'll print your print sheet if you go out here to this table and you can order anything you want. Okay, good. And pull, yeah. That was forward. Yeah. Keep your finger out of there. Go to Monkey. She goes out. You want to sit or stand over here? You want to stand here? You want to stand? Okay, come stand right here. You can stand right next to Santa. There you go.
Who's got the biggest smile?
All right. Here. No fingers. I should stand over here. She's sitting over here. Yeah, she's stand. Can I stand over there? Yes. And put your arm behind him. Oh, I didn't do that.
Turn around, baby.
Sweet. All right, ready? Look at me and say cheese. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. We gotta see your eyes. Say cheese. Open your eyes. Cheese. One. Okay, you're small with his eyes. Look, do this. Look at me. Open your eyes there and smile. Do this. There you go. Hold on. Can you pull your chin down just a little bit? No. There we go. There we go. Now say cheese. Sweet. That was better. He said, he blew 10,000 sure. If y'all fill out the release form,
who's your favorite on Paw Patrol?
we can post it online.
Who's your favorite one on Paw Patrol? Marshall? Bart? Princess Barbie? Special Barbie?
Yeah, Mom.
Can I have a big cupcake?
I was like, where is it?
Come on, baby. Take it out.
You can't play football.
Oh, here. Thanks, Chris.
There we go.
Good, how are you?
Just keep on going,
Look.
His mom gets a picture.
Look, come back, Santa. See?
Sure.
Hey, look. If I give you this, will you say Santa? For a second, hold on. But that's Christmas. Yeah, here, look. Show that. Like bells? They're Santa's special bells. What if Mom and Dad get the picture with you? Can they hold you? Here, that's me with you. Oh. Look, no one. She's gonna hold you. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna hold you. Look, and put y'all down a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Oh. Look. No one ever told you, Mama. Look right here. Cheese. Oh. 1, 2, 3, cheese.
You don't get around too many people. Come on, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Say bye, say bye. No. Personality. She is funny.
That's it. Last year she was fine, this year nothing.
You would say you never know. You never know. Thank you. You're welcome. Put your eyes.
No, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Where did Mama go?
Terrible too.
Yep, we went through those.
Oh, look at that. You can do that. See how pretty that was? All right.